ladies and gentlemen. I'm bringing you a game today against a Terran player, and I have evolved my current Terran strategy a little bit. It's interesting, my opponent here is going to do the exact strategy pretty much that I have been doing, and actually the reason why I decided to change is because somebody beat me using a slightly better strategy, I believe, than mine. So for the previous strategy, you can kind of watch what this guy's doing, or watch one of my older videos. But you know, I don't wall in; he's walling in. Against Terran, I don't wall in, and it's kind of funny. I think because I didn't wall in, this character at least decides to try to make an early push against me. But so what I used to do was one siege tank, one banshee, a handful of marines, and then attack. One cloaked banshee, that is, because the banshee can kill the siege tank if there are any siege tanks, and then you have a siege tank if they don't. So if you're just careful with your micro, you can win, and that strategy isn't a bad strategy. And but someone beat me pretty convincingly once or twice. It might have happened where instead of getting a siege tank, you get out a Thor, and it takes a little bit longer, but on a big map it doesn't really matter. Haven't really done this strategy on a small map yet, so but you can see even if you get one tank out, he built a second tank instead of getting siege mode. So you know, if you got siege mode, that takes 80 seconds. If you build an armory, that takes 65 seconds. So the only difference though is that you can make the tank before you get siege mode, but you can't, of course, make the Thor before you get the armory. So right now you have to start the Thor right after you finish the armory, because by this time you can see he's got two tanks. They're not siege tanks yet, but Thors early are pretty superior force, because first of all, it seems like every single Terran player I play in T versus T, they always make banshees these days. So if you have a Thor out, though, a banshee's not going to kill that Thor. So you can have more confidence, I think, if you have a Thor. If you have a couple Thors, if you're making Thors, that you're not going to lose the game to one or two banshees in your base. And so here's my banshee, and I'm getting cloak, and as soon as I get this, I'm gonna push. And so he's actually working on 4 tanks. Still hasn't gotten. Oh, he did get siege mode. So 2 banshees for him. No cloak yet. And he is ready to go. He forgot to get cloak. He has an extra tank and no cloak. But maybe he figures, oh well, I don't care. I'm gonna go anyway. I've got a good force. I'm gonna make a push. I'll bet my army is bigger than his army. But is it? Yes, it is. Of course, it's not all about army size, but army composition and army placement. And you can see his troops are not in the best position to face some cloaked banshees. And he does siege up fairly quickly, so I go straight for the siege tanks. I'm like, Marines, forget the Marines. Let's kill these tanks. You can see, you know, 3-4 siege tanks. They did take out one Thor, but they couldn't take out 2. I had 2 banshees with them. So, at this point, I'm like, yes, counter, nothing can stop me now. And then I'm like, well, maybe a small force can stop me. So pull back. And if you look at the Production tab, I think the problem for our road player is that, well, he's making one tank at a time now. I'm making one Thor at a time, and if you have more Thors than other players' tanks or equal, then you have the advantage. Especially if you have a ton of Banshees, and a ton of Banshees are pretty darn powerful. I mean, you can pretty much take down a missile turret pretty fast if you have 5 or 6 Banshees, if you have to. Of course, you don't have to take it down. Your opponent's going to need a bunch of Marines or some Thors to take down this many Banshees. So, this is kind of funny. Our armies are right next to each other, but I can't see him, and he can't see me. In fact, he's not even on the eye. I think he was trying to be. So, he's got this massive force. You never want to sit around, though, with your siege tanks unsieged. You never want to. If you're going to sit there for more than 1 second, you want to make sure you're sieged up. Of course, by the time we just run into each other, we run by each other, and this time he doesn't even siege up. Interesting. He tries to scan to kill the Banshees, but there's so many of them. He would have had, now if he could have stemmed his Marines, it might have been a different story. And he does have enough forces to take on the Thors, but you can see this is why you want Thors instead of tanks, because your tanks are helpless, and you don't want to waste 9,000 minerals because you built the wrong units. So you see another terrible thing about trying to defend against Banshees. You try to build missile turrets, and then you just end up wasting $150 because you lose a CD, and you lose what you're building there. So it's $150, and then you can't scan, and you're losing all your Marines, and you're losing your tanks, and you do scan, and you have Marines to kill off these Banshees, and you just lost another 200 minerals. And you can see now that Planetary Fortress is worthless against Banshees, and maybe not worthless. It is a little hard to kill Planetary Fortress, even if you have Banshees. So I was losing my shield, so I pulled back. Maybe I shouldn't have. I think I was afraid of a Viking or the Marines getting me or something. Probably should have stuck around. More Marines were going to pop out, but you can take down 2 Marines at a time fairly easily with 2 Banshees. So I don't know. I pull back. I get some more Thors. I'll just fast forward a little bit. See, I actually have 6 Thors right now. He's got 5 tanks, and I'm outnumbering him. It's always a good sign. Always a good feeling. I'm still making more Banshees too, because maybe I'm not right now. I did make 3 more Banshees though. And I built this expo, and here's, you have to expo in Terran Return fast, because actually the goal in Terran Return, I think, is to get battle cruisers. They're the best units to make. Sure, they're worthless against mass Vikings, but if your enemy decides to wipe out your expo like that, I would recommend attacking his main. And we'll see what happens. It takes so long, of course on a big map it takes much longer even to get back, but even if he split up his forces, this is why you don't want to split up your forces ever, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, you can do drops and harassment, but you don't want to go take down a planetary fortress with capital troops. And I did not micro well here. I should have pulled these guys back, let the Thors handle that, and then let my Banshees attack these tanks. And I end up doing that, but I should have done that earlier. And so, here I have a choice. I could attack his planetary fortress and weaken Thor's. I do not have the 250mm cannon, which is the most powerful weapon in the game in terms of one shot, more powerful than the model cannon. So I'm like, okay, forget that planetary fortress. I'm just going to go blow up his new production facilities. With this mini Thor, surely it can't be that hard to blow up his 3 barracks. Or I go for the bigger stuff first. I don't want to see any battleships popping out of there. I am building some battleships as we speak. Battle cruiser, excuse me. Battleships is a game. So, one tank at a time. It's not going to be a problem. You can see how much stronger Thors are than tank. Thors have 400 hit points. Tanks have 180. So he quit. Good game. Hope you enjoyed it.